she blessed him thus, "Your body would become healthier than before. You are the one who offer boons to everyone, but today I am offering you a boon. You can return to your abode gleefully. By bathing in Padmatit and by performing the death ceremony rituals of forefathers, one shall be relieved from the bonds and enjoy pleasures on earth as well as in the empyrean." So saying, Mother Renuka Devi disappeared and Surya was unshackled from the ill effects of the deadly disease and reached his abode Suryalok jubilantly. Deepaka, do you wish to know anything more about Lord Dattatreya and his divine attributes? I will be ecstatic to explicate about Lord. So friends, from the story of Sun God, we can understand that every one of us are prone to commit mistakes, right? So please do not feel dejected if you have committed any mistake, and do not curse yourself. See, whatever we are facing today, these are all the consequences of the actions that we have performed in our past lives or in our past births, right? So if you're facing any problem, please do not curse yourself that I would have done that, so I'm facing this. So do not give any ill curses to yourself, right? Because even if Sun God is like, I don't have words to express about him, right? Like, he is enlightened, he is like he is a God, right? So even he has he has committed a mistake, right? Such a God, like, he is providing health to every one of us. He rises in the morning meticulously, and in the evening the sun sets in the evening. Everything is happened meticulously, right? So he has committed a mistake. So just imagine, we are humans, so we would definitely commit many mistakes in our lives, right? So please forgive yourself, and if any person who has done harm to you, who has made you down many times, many people would be around us who would make us down every day, every moment, right? So please forgive everyone, because we are all humans and we tend to commit mistakes. So please forgive everybody in your life, and please forgive yourself first, okay? So friends, I think by forgiving, that karma cycles ends, right? The cycle between you and the other person ends. So please forgive yourself and forgive your friends, your parents, your children, whoever has made you down. So every day we come across many people, right, who will definitely put us down. So please forgive everyone, and please forgive yourself, and lead a healthy life, friends. So Veda Dharma is asking Deepaka, like, does he wish to know anything more? That is what Veda Dharma is asking. So Deepaka is saying, Gurudeva Sarva Dharmagna, my heart is filled with deep gratitude towards you. There are myriads of divine plays of Lord Dattatreya. As you're narrating them, I am listening to them enthusiastically. Nevertheless, my quest for listening to Lord Dattatraya's divine plays is never ending. They are the pacifiers of sorrows related to spirituality. Even ambrosia is bootless as compared to the divine traits of Lord. I would wish to know in detail about Mother Renuka Devi, as you have stated about her briefly. Apart from you, none can explicate about her extensively. Deepaka, I am elated by your curiosity, and I feel immensely gleeful to describe about the nature of Mother Renuka Devi. By listening to it, whole of the beings shall procure prosperity. One day, when Lord Dattatreya sat under Amalaki tree, encircled by celestial beings and sages, he asked Parashurama, Rama, you're an omniscient ruler of the three worlds and son of Mother Renuka Devi. In spite of that, Lord Ganesha preached you about the nature of soul. Hence, you should have perceived the form and glory of Mother Renuka Devi. Please depict the nature of Mother Renuka Devi to us. Rama replied, Deva, though I am her son, I am nescient about her nature. You are the only one who has become cognizant of her nature. Hence, you are the appropriate person to expound about Ekavira Devi, alias Mother Renuka Devi. Rama, how could I believe that you are nescient about the nature of Mother Renuka Devi? In fact, you are earning to listen to her nature through me. Her divine form is divided into magnificent and subtle forms. Forests, rivers, oceans, mountains, animal kingdom, and the entire earth, the empyrean, places of pilgrimage, gods, sages, the seven nether worlds, divine serpents, and tortoises are her magnificent forms, while the nature of Parabrahma is her subtle form. As Dattatreya was describing about Mother Renuka Devi, Rama meditated on her. Glory of Mother Renuka. Mother Renuka Devi is the mother of all the worlds. Hence the place where she dwelt came to be known as Matratirth. Once upon a time, Parashuram carried out a yagna called Renuka Yagna under the guidance of Lord Dattatreya, for which Lord Brahma himself adorned the place of Brahma. The rest of the sages chanted Vedas during the commencement of Yagna. Sage Narada, demigods, siddhas, and the celestial musicians, that is Gandharvas, recited the story of Mother Renuka with utmost devotion. The deities played various instruments while the celestial nymphs danced to the tunes of music played by the celestial musicians. During the conclusion of Yagna, the materials from 7 seas, such as milk from sea of milk, curd from sea of curd, butter from sea of butter, etc., honey from Krishna Malaki, and holy water from the rivers such as Ganga and Yamuna were brought to do the Abhishek to Mother Renuka Devi. While Lord Dattatreya was performing the Abhishek, the sages chanted the Veda mantras. Later, he prostrated to Mother Renuka, chanted Vedas, and meditated on her by sitting in Padmasana posture. As he was meditating, he disappeared all of a sudden. Everyone who were witnessing him was stupefied with his disappearance. So friends, Lord Dattatreya, he is the consciousness spread in all the atoms of the universe. He is the Adi Guru, yet he is meditating, friends. He never quits meditation. Every day he meditates. Just think about us. Even we should meditate every day. Of course, performing puja and all, yes, it depends upon self-interest. If you're interested to perform puja, yes, you can definitely perform puja. After doing puja, you can definitely meditate for 10 to 15 minutes. Like this, we can increase the time. Because through meditation, we get connected to ourself. Through puja also it is possible, but the chances are little less. That is why Lord Dattatreya is meditating. Because he is always in connection with his self, right? So he is the self, of course. In order to connect to ourself and being in Atmananda Sthiti. So that is the happiness that comes from our soul, right? So to be in that state, meditation is compulsory, friends. So please practice meditation also. You can start from 10 to 15 minutes and later on you can increase the time. You will definitely feel the difference, friends. Once you start doing meditation, you will definitely feel the difference. Because in meditation, we are in complete silence, right? We are not chanting anything, we are not listening to anything, and we are not seeing anything, right? See, suppose you're seeing something, your energy is lost. You're listening to something, your energy is lost. If you're chanting something, your energy, or if you're talking, your energy is lost. So you're not doing any of these things and you're just in silence. That means your energy is saved. The energy saved is energy gained. So that way, and that energy heals your body and also mind. So I know it's not an easy process. It will definitely take some time to get accustomed to the meditational practices and all, but still we can definitely try. A simple step, a small step would definitely lead to eternity. So please start doing meditation, friends. Once you complete your puja, just sit for 15 minutes. Like you need not imagine any of the God's images or anything. You need not imagine anything. You can just sit, you can focus on your breath. There are different kinds of meditation, right? So you can focus on your breath, or you can focus on your Agna chakra, or you can focus on your Sahasrara chakra, like this. We have different kinds of meditations. You can adopt any of those meditations and start doing it. You will definitely feel like you got connected to yourself, because that is the last step, right? That is why we have been incarnating on earth. Since our soul wants experiences, we have been incarnating on earth and we have been taking many experiences. All these are experiences, right, friends? Everything is an experience in our life. Going to the job, yes, is an experience. Cooking, yes, it's an experience. Having fun with kids, yes, it's an experience. Somebody has hurted me and I'm crying, yes, that is also an experience. So everything is an experience, whether it's good or bad, whether you're happy or sorrowful, everything is an experience, and we have to leave everything behind, right? We are not going to take all these things wherever we go, right? So we have to leave behind everything. So since the last step of our incarnation is getting connected to ourself and realizing that the Parabrahman is all pervading, that is, the self is persistent in all of the universe. To realize this, we have been taking so many births, friends, and we have acquired so much of knowledge, right, by taking so many births, and we have taken so many experiences. I don't know, maybe we would have taken around lakhs of incarnations, because it's not so easy, right? We are listening to Sri Dattapuran. He is the Adi Guru, and the consciousness, according to me, like he is the consciousness filled in the entire universe. So it's not easy to get connected to him. Definitely we would have taken many births, right? That is why today we are able to listen to his glories, and we have known that Atma is all pervading. That is why this Dattapuran has come into existence, right? To preach every one of us that Atma is prevailing in the entire universe, and apart from Atma, nothing is existent. Everything is just an illusion, right? So, to make this understandable by everyone, that the Puran has come into existence, friends. That is the sole purpose of Sri Dattapuran, nothing else than that. So, when we have learnt about many sages, the celestial nymphs like Tilottama, Kanchanamalini and all, though Kanchanamalini was a cocotte in her previous birth, later she realized herself, right? She got connected to herself. That is how she got liberated. That is how Tilottama got liberated, right, friends? See, these are the examples from which we have to learn many things. So they have given in the form of stories to us, right? By just saying, it would not be interesting to us. And if somebody tells us with the help of stories, we would understand it better, and we can learn a lot from that particular person, and we can also know like what are the do's and don'ts from that person, right? So that is why this whole Dattapuran concept has come into existence, friends, just to help us to know that Atma is all pervading. And please do not forget that you are the Atma. You're not the body, you're not the mind, and you're not your intellect. You're nothing actually, right? I am nothing. We are the souls, friends. We are the souls. We have to realize this fact that we are the souls, and everything that is happening in our lives are the experiences. Those are all the soul experiences. Every day our soul is teaching one or the other lesson, friends. So please do not be dejected, do not be crestfallen, do not be depressed if you're going through difficult phases, because your soul wants to teach you something, because your soul wants you to learn something. It is making you to undergo such situations, right? You're experiencing such situations to learn from it, right? So please be happy. Please be contented with whatever you have. Be grateful for whatever you're having, friends. And I'm truly grateful to you, friends, for listening to me. Thank you. The deities presumed that he was engrossed into Mother Renuka Devi's spirit, while the sages weened that Mother Renuka Devi's intense luminosity spread through the body of Dattatreya and made him invisible. On contrary, the Siddhas surmised that he was present in subtle form and would reappear after some time. The learned inferred that Lord Dattatreya would reappear along with Digambari, the unclad beauty. The word Digambara is a combination of two words. Dig is directions and Ambara is dress, referring to those whose garments are of the element that fills the four quarters of space. In other words, Digambara means unclad. The itinerant actors had a different perception. They deduced that he was observing them in subtle form. In the course of their conversations, Lord Dattatreya, who was listening to them delightfully, reappeared elegantly. Every one of them were glad with his reappearance and paid obeisance to him. They collectively asked, Dattatreya Vibhu, where have you been? Even the divine eye was unsuccessful in locating you. We have never encountered such a situation, and you are the only one who could delineate about it. Dear deities and sages, as Parshuram was entitled in performing the yagna, I perceived that the time for doing Sandhya Vandan, that is salutation to twilight, or the solar noon, was about to elapse. Hence, I had been to perform Sandhya Vandana. As you are aware that to salute to the Sandhya Devi, that is Sandhya, is the two twilights, namely dawn and dusk, is the highest form of yagna. Swami, it is not mandatory that you disappear in order to perform Sandhya Vandana. Who is Sandhya Devi to whom you offered salutations? Where does she dwell? The yogini residing in every yogi is none other than Mother Renuka Devi, and she is the Sandhya Devi. I paid obeisance to her, whose abidance is in my heart, filled with tranquility and eternal bliss. The yogis ever meditate on Mother Renuka Devi. She is Ekavira Devi and Sandhya Devi, to whom we have to pay obeisance during the twilight hours. Dattatreya Guruttama, you have promulgated that the time for doing Sandhya Vandana was elapsing. Please explain us about the same. O estimable people, while sitting, eating, sleeping, or traveling, we can pay obeisance to Sandhya Devi, as a particular time frame does not exist for this divine ritual. The saintly people pay respects to her irrespective of time, place, and situation. Swami, it is quite strange that the saintly people meditate on her every moment. Every human has to undergo suffering in the course of time, and it is inevitable even for the saintly people. In that case, how could they meditate incessantly? I think this is one of the best questions, friends. So, we undergo a lot of suffering in our lives, yet we have to meditate. So, there are many people who undergo a lot of suffering in their lives, yet they meditate without giving any breaks, and they are always connected to their self. I wonder, like, how could they connect to their self if they're having so many problems in their external world? Those who pay obeisance to Mother Renuka Devi during the 3 months such as Chaitra, Ashadha and Kartika are considered to be the saintly people. The materialistic situations should not be a hindrance to meditate. You attain eligibility of reverence if you meditate unremittingly. The seekers of liberation should worship Mother Renuka Devi honestly to procure her blessings as well as her darshan. By meditating on Mother Renuka Devi, one shall experience pleasures on earth and thereby attain liberation. So Lord is saying that the external problems, that is the external world problems, or we can say the materialistic world problems, they should never be a hindrance for us to meditate. So this is what Lord is saying. So friends, let us follow the words of Lord and let us meditate honestly without giving importance to the problems of the materialistic world. Lord Dattatreya disappeared once again after describing about the attributes of Mother Renuka Devi. The deities and sages were blissful listening to the teachings of Lord. They worshipped Lord Vishnu and Mother Renuka Devi with materials and holy water brought from the 7 seas and from various auspicious rivers. They circumambulated the Krishna Malaki tree with extreme devotion, conveyed gratitude to Dattatreya in their hearts, and returned to their places. Deepaka, in accordance with your wish of knowing about the glory of Mother Renuka Devi, I have depicted everything that Skanda expatiated to the sages on Mount Kailasa. So, what is your next wish? Gurudeva, I wish to know more about Dattatreya's uncountable divine miracles. Out of compassion, he blessed Kartavirya extensively. Lord Datta displays solicitude for his devotees like a mother. Indeed, Kartavirya's parents are praiseworthy as they were blessed with an influential and potential offspring. What kind of wrath did they perform for having blessed with such an offspring? Please explain about the same. So Deepaka is not satisfied even after listening to so many divine attributes of Lord Dattatreya. He still wants to know about Lord Dattatreya, and his heart is filled with Lord's divine grace, right? So he wants to know more about Lord Dattatreya's divine place. Deepaka, in the days of yore, Arjuna asked the same question to Sri Krishna. I shall explicate everything that Sri Krishna had explicated to Arjuna. Saptami Snapan Vrat as described by Lord Surya. So from now onwards we will be knowing about certain important vrats, friends. Those who are interested, there are a set of people who really wish to perform vrats and all. So for such people, these topics would be very interesting. So, and there are certain people who wouldn't be interested in doing the vrats, and they would only spend their time on meditation. Yes, for them also, till now we have covered so many topics, right, regarding meditation. And also this book is like it is for every kind of person, friends. The one who wants to do vrats and all, yes, you can refer this book. The one who wants to know about Atma Gnan, that is the ultimate, so yes, you can refer this book. And there are certain people who would be interested to only do puja and all, yes, you can refer this book. And there are certain people who wants to follow sadachara and all, right? So yes, you can refer this book. This way, this book is actually, it can give information to any kind of person, like the one who is traveling in the spiritual path. There are different stages in the spiritual journey, right? So a person who is in any of the stage can refer this book. Such is the glory of Sri Dattapuran. So now like few of the vrats we will come across, few of the important vrats, friends. So the first one is Saptami Snapana Vrat. Dharmaraja in Kritayaga, during the Varaha Kalpa is a day of Brahma. Vaivashvata Manvantara, Manu, is the progenitor of humanity. Manvantara is the lifespan of Manu. So there was a dynasty by name Hayahaya, ruled by an illustrious king Kritavirya, who ruled the entire earth, including the 7 islands, solely for 77,000 years, and was renowned for his potentiality. He was blessed with 10 sons. Unfortunately, they were obliterated by the curse of sage Chavana. The king and his queen lamented over their cruel fate and hence took refuge in Devaguru Brihaspati. The compassionate Brihaspati consoled them, saying, "King, discard your woebegonness immediately, as undoubtedly you will beget an heir with long life. But as part of atonement, perform Saptami Snapana Vrat, declaimed by Lord Dattatreya. Surya is acquainted with the method of doing the vrat, so worship him without wasting even a single moment." So saying, he blessed the couple. So friends, even this vrat is prescribed by Lord Dattatreya. So Dattatreya actually gave information about yoga and its benefits to Kartavirya and King Alarka, like because they were in that position to learn about yoga and all. So he gave them the information about yoga. So regarding the vrat, like few people, they will be, they would be enjoying the results of by performing the vrat, right? So for such people, he has given us certain vrats, right? So depending upon the position of a particular person, he is giving the knowledge. So depending upon their understanding and depending upon their level of spiritual journey, he is giving the information. So he is not he's not saying that only yoga is important, only meditation is important, because it does not hold good for everyone, right? Few of them, they may not be able to understand about yoga and meditation. They may not be in that level to understand yoga and meditation, right? So for them, to make them easier, he has described the vrats and all. So it doesn't mean that these people are not as great as the people who are able to understand yoga and all. Okay, there's no differentiation between these classes of people. Everybody is one and the same, right, in the eyes of Lord Dattatreya. And every one of us have come from the Moola Chaitanya. That means we all are same. We don't have any differentiation, right, friends? Only in the materialistic world there are a lot of differentiations, like somebody is rich, somebody is poor, somebody is intelligent, somebody is dull. So these are all the differentiations only in the materialistic world. If we go deeper, like if we carry out a journey towards our inner being, then we will definitely know that everybody is from the Moola Chaitanya, right? So every insect, every animal, every bird, even the non-living beings, friends. So every one of us are from the Moola Chaitanya. So if we think deeply, or if we observe it, like my inner being is same as yours. So every one of us are same. But in the materialistic world, yes, there are lot of differentiations, and because the mind acts actively in the materialistic world, Dattatreya is giving the information according to the capability of the person. Okay, friends? Kritavirya worshipped sun god for 1 month by reciting Vedas. The latter was exuberant by his devotion and gave darshan to him. He proclaimed, Kritavirya performs Saptami Snapana Vrat devotedly, as it shields the children from the evil death and provides perfect health. It can even uproot the years of travail. The method of executing this vrat is as follows. During the 7th month of pregnancy, the pregnant woman and her husband should wake up in the wee hours and take a holy dip. Place Agnihotra in a tidy place and decorate it with rangoli, mango leaves and flowers. Prepare offerings with rice, cow milk and other ingredients, and offer them to Rudra, Surya and Saptamatrika Gana, that is a group of 7 mother goddesses. Perform special homa for me by reciting the mantras and offer the stems of hawk plum and swallowwort plants along with barley seeds and black sesame seeds to the fire god. Place 7 kalashas, a metal, brass, copper, silver or gold pot with a large base and small mouth filled with holy Ganga water in 4 directions of Homagund, and one towards east, one towards west and the other one in the middle. Worship them with sandalwood and fragrant flowers. Cover the 7 kalashas with 7 mirrors and invite the Saptarishis. Worship the kalashas placed in the east and west directions as sun god and moon god by decorating with 5 gemstones and 5 types of shoots of plants. Pour some soil into 7 kalashas and lift the middle kalash in which gemstones are placed by chanting the Surya mantras. 7 couple who are blessed with offspring should consume food and wear new clothes and ornaments. They have to pour the water from the middle kalash onto the pregnant women by praying that the baby and the mother should be blessed with long life and perfect health. Worship those 7 couple with Shodashopachara Puja. Later, worship Lord Ganesha and Kumaraswamy and donate a golden statuette of Dharmaraja to the Guru by placing it on a vessel filled with sesame seeds. Donations for Brahmins and the relatives have to be done extensively. Receive blessings from the Guru and gift him with a cow. The pregnant women should consume the rest of the materials prepared as an offspring to the fire god. Surya described the method of performing the vrat and then disappeared. Dharmaraja, since Kritavirya and his wife performed the Saptami Snapana Vrat, they were blessed with Kartaviryarjuna, who ruled the entire earth for 85,000 years. This vrat is to be performed on Saptami of Shukla Paksh. We have to pray Sun God for perfect health, Fire God for wealth, Shankara for gaining knowledge, and Janardhana to attain liberation. Those who perform or listen to the Saptami Snapana Vrata shall be blessed intensively. Dharmaraja, Kritavirya's wife Sheeladhara, performed certain other vrats as well. Once she visited the ashram of Yagnavalkya and lamented over her fate to his wife Maitreya. Maitreya consoled her and explained about Anantavrat. Anantavrat. Sheeladhara, to worship Janardhana is the sole way to fulfill our wishes. During the month of Nagashirisha Masa, that is the 9th month of Hindu calendar, on the day of Mrigashira star, wake up early in the morning and take bath. Consume little amount of cow's micturition, fast for the entire day, and perform the vrat in the evening. Initially, worship the left foot of Ananta with flowers and sandalwood powder. Later, swear a solemn oath that Ananta is the wish fulfiller, provider of fruits of happiness, and he shall protect me in all the births. Let Ananta become rapturous with my vrat and offer me with the boons. Meditate on Ananta and pay obeisance to him. Offer donations to the priest and pay respects to him. For dinner, consume food without oil. During Pushya Masa, that is the 10th month of Hindu calendar, on the day of Pushyami star, fast during the day and worship Anant's left side loin. Rest of the methods are same as that of Vrat performed in Margashirsha Masa. In the same fashion, perform Anantavrat in Magha Masa on the day of Magha star and worship Ananta's left side countenance. And in Falguni Masa, during Falguni star, worship Ananta's left shoulder. Offer barley seeds to the Brahmins during these 4 months. During Chaitra Masa, worship the southern loin of Ananta. In Vaishakha, worship the southern foot. The entire loin is to be worshipped in Jeshta Masa and in Ashadha Masa. In Shravana Masa, both the feet have to be worshipped. During the months of Bhadrapada, Ashviyuja and Kartika, one has to take bath in the vihars and donate butter to Brahmins. In Bhadrapada, on the day of Purva Bhadra star, worship the nether regions. In Ashviyuja, on the day of Ashwini star, worship the heart. In Kartika, on the day of Kritika star, worship the head of Lord Ananta. During every month, while performing Ananta Vrat, bathe in the vihars, feed the Brahmins, and offer donations ecstatically. Rice mixed with ghee is to be consumed for supper. Every 4th month, Brahmins should be feasted, and this is called as Parana Tritayam. In the course of performing this vrat, if the body is subjected to any changes, chant the name of Ananta incessantly. Once the vrat is completed, Udyapan has to be carried out. On either sides of golden effigy of Lord Ananta, silver effigies of pestle and a plough should be placed. A turban, umbrella, and footwear for Ananta's effigy is mandatory. Perform Shodashopachara Puja to the effigies of Ananta, pestle, and the plough. Fill 12 pitchers with holy Ganga water and little amount of gold. Worship the moon god and 12 gods related to 12 months respectively. Later, donate the golden effigy to a pious Brahmin and 12 pitchers to yet another Brahmin. Feed the rest of the Brahmins with a sumptuous and luxurious meal. The vrat is completed after performing the Udyapan. Shiladhara paid respects to Maitreyi. In turn, Maitreyi blessed her that she would beget a son who rules the whole world solely. Shiladhara returned to her kingdom and performed the vrat with unperturbed devotion. Once, Ananta appeared in the form of Dattatreya in her dreams and asserted that, Shiladhara, you shall be blessed with an eminent offspring who would rule the entire earth, and he shall become illustrious for his wisdom. Shiladhara woke up from sleep and realized that it was a dream. She notified about her dream to her husband. Both were immensely happy and congratulated each other. On an auspicious day, they were blessed with a boy and they named him Kartavirya-Arjuna. Flowers were showered on him by deities. The celestial musicians played various instruments and the nymphs danced to the tunes of music. Later, she served Lord Dattatreya devotedly and could attain 1,000 hands and the power of 1,000 elephants. Deepaka, now that you have known about the birth secrets of Kartavirya-Arjuna, do you wish to know anything more? Friends, if we observe in each of the vrat, Lord has suggested to donate certain materials. It could be water, it could be gold, it could be an umbrella, it could be an effigy, golden effigy of Lord Ananta. This way there are different kinds of materials that have to be donated depending upon the kind of vrat that a person is performing, right? So from this we can know how important donations are, because we receive if we give, right friends? Only if we give we shall receive something. So that is why in every vrat it has been mentioned that something has to be donated to the pious people. Glory of Anagha Vrat. Gurudeva, I wish to know in extent about Lord Dattatreya. You decide by yourself what is to be preached. Did Dharmaraja question further? What were the answers given by Sri Krishna? Vedadharma replied, Deepaka, listen to the Anagha Vrat as depicted by Sri Krishna to Dharmaraja. Dharmaraja, Dattatreya is the form of Lord Vishnu, born to sage Atri and mother Anasuya. His wife is Anagha Devi, the form of Lakshmi Devi. The 8 supernatural powers, Ashtasiddhis, were born to them as their sons. Datta Yogindra adopted the Yoga Marg and meditated for thousands of years. He meditated for 3,000 years by holding the vision in between the eyebrows with wide open eyes. And this kind of meditation is called Brahmottara Tapas. He stood like a wooden pillar, unwavering as a mountain, with his hands aloft, and meditated for several thousand years. While Dattatreya was in Yoga Diksha, Kartaviryarjuna served him unremittingly and was blessed with innumerable boons like 1,000 hands, 1,000 weapons, and ruled the entire world inclusive of 9 islands. The citizens of his kingdom lived contentedly without any hardships. If a citizen remembered him during an adverse condition, Kartaviryarjuna would appear physically and shield them from the clutches of evil fate. He was capable of appearing in 7 different places simultaneously. He tended the cattle and gave rainfall as Prajanya, that is, the god of rains. He was blessed with such supernatural powers by Dattatreya. Karkataka, that is the deity related to Cancer sign, was the chief steward of Mahishmati. Once, while swimming in Narmada river, he resisted the flow of river with his 1,000 hands. In the similar manner, he even resisted the flow of sea water. Friends, though Kartaviryarjuna was born with crippled hands or the dented hands, he acquired such mightiest power only because he surrendered himself to the service of Lord Dattatreya for a number of years. So that way his karma got demolished, and Lord Dattatreya gave him innumerable boons. And later, Lord Dattatreya also preached him about the Atma Jnana, right? That is about yoga and meditation, and made him to get liberated. He did not just leave him in between. These boons and all, they were only useful for the materialistic world, right, friends? Only because he wanted to serve his citizens, and he wanted the citizens to be happy without any hardships. Kartaviryarjuna had asked for so many boons. So they are all, if we think deeply, they are all just temporary, because he had to get liberated. That was the eternal thing that has to be happen, right? So Lord Dattatreya even preached about yoga mark to Kartaviryarjuna. That is how he got liberated. So Dattatreya actually helped him in all the ways. He gave him the materialistic pleasures as well as the spiritual knowledge. So I think both are important for anybody, for every one of us. Both are important. They say like iha para shreyas, right? So he had given the iha and para, both pleasures. Like he gave him the materialistic pleasures, he made him to enjoy all the pleasures, and then he taught him meditation and yoga, and then he got liberated. This all happened, everything has happened because Kartaviryarjuna had surrendered completely to Lord Dattatreya. Kartaviryarjuna imprisoned the mighty Ravanasura too. Pulastya Brahma requested him to release Ravana. Once Chitrabhanu disguised himself as a Brahmin and visited Mahishmati to seek alms. Karta donated the entire world to him. While Chitrabhanu was consuming the whole world in the form of an arrow of fire, Arjuna was gazing at him in lieu of objecting him. Sage Vasishta, who was performing austerity for thousands of years in water, appeared in Mahishmati and cursed Karta that he would be assassinated by Parashuram. Nevertheless, Kartaviryarjuna did not have a feeling of melancholy, though he was cursed by the sage. Rather, he was elated that he would be exterminated by Parashuram, that is, the form of Vishnu. The sturdy, mighty, and glorious yogi Kartaviryarjuna, out of compassion, introduced Anaghashtami Vrat. Agham literally means sinning through mind, deeds, and words. Since the Vrat dispels all of the sins, it is called as Anagha Vrat. This Vrat has to be performed in Margashira Masa on Ashtami of Krishna Paksh. Prepare the effigies of Dattatreya, Anagha Devi, and their 8 children with sacred grass and place them in the canopy that is decorated for performing the Vrat. The doer of Vrat should wake up in the wee hours, take bath, and tie a wristband, indicating that he or she would vote to carry out the Vrat. The effigies have to be worshipped with Shodashopachara Puja, and the doer must meditate on Dattatreya and Anagha Devi. The fragrant flowers, yams, and the fruits grown in that season have to be offered to Dattatreya and Anagha Devi. Later, the Brahmins and the relatives have to be fed sumptuously with luscious meal. The Vrat is considered to be complete when the doer of the Vrat encourages another person to perform the Vrat. On the night of Ashtami, the doer should be on Kvivive, involved in bhajans and listen to Harikatha. On Navami, the effigies made out of grass have to be worshipped by chanting the mantras of Udvasa. Dispose of the effigies, flowers, and leaves that were offered to Lord into a river or a well. By performing this Vrat every year consecutively, the doers shall be thrived and obtain good health. Dharmaraja, by observing the Anaghashtami Vrat, you can become equal to Kartaviryarjuna. So saying, Krishna concluded his teachings. Dipaka was dubious about Dattatreya's numerous forms. He asked Vedadharma, Guruttama, you have averred that Lord Dattatreya is the form of Vishnu. He is a yogi and a sage. Is it possible to corroborate through the spiritual texts of Puranas that he is the form of Lord Vishnu? You are compassionate enough that you answer to all of my questions patiently. Hence, I am clearing my doubts with your help. Dattatreya is the form of Vishnu. Lord Dattatreya, Nishchavana, Stamba, Prana, Kashyapa, Orya, and Brihaspati are regarded as the 7 sages according to Matsya Purana. While in Vayu Purana, Jirva, son of Vasishta, Stamba, Kashyapa, Prana, Brihaspati, and Lord Dattatreya are demonstrated as sages. Swarochishamanvantara proclaims that even the gods would be jocund by listening to the names of the sages. From the Puranas, it is evident that Lord Dattatreya is a magnificent sage. Now, I shall describe his puissance with respect to his incarnations. While depicting the Vibhuti Dvadashi Vrat to Narada by Nandishvara in Matsya Purana, he averred that there are 12 incarnations of Vishnu The 11th and 12th incarnations are in the form of Dattatreya and sage Vyas. Every incarnation needs to be worshipped every month consecutively for 1 year. Thus, the Nandishvara delineated about the summary of Vibhuti Dvadashi Vrat. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 4th chapter of 11th discourse, it is mentioned that Dramila describes the glory of Vishnu to King Nimi. He promulgates that for the upliftment of the downtrodden, Lord Vishnu incarnated as Hamsa, Dattatreya, Sanat Kumara, and Rishabha. In the 8th chapter of 6th discourse, the phrases of Narayana Kavacham are stated. They are as follows. Let Narayana safeguard me from all the troubles. Let every human be free from persecution. Let Dattatreya lift us from incapability. And let Ganesha dissolve our karma. From the above phrases, it can be concluded that Lord Dattatreya is the form of Sri Mahavishnu. In the 6th discourse, 15th chapter, Chitraketu happens to meet a sage. He asks him, Swami, may I know who are you and who are you amongst the sages like Lomasha, Chavana, Dattatreya, Asuri and Patanjali. Even in Harihara dynasty, a proof exists that Vishnu incarnated as Lord Dattatreya in order to encourage Vedas and Yagnas. He even blessed Kartaviryarjuna with 1,000 hands, 1,000 weapons, and death in the hands of Vishnu. Vaishampayana asserted in Harihara dynasty that by worshipping Lord Dattatreya devotedly, the 2 hands will be transformed into 1,000 hands. Deepaka, I am sure that you have known the nature of incarnations of Lord Dattatreya. Abjure from asking silly doubts in lieu of worshipping Lord Dattatreya devotedly. Guruttama, I have dared to ask such questions by assuming that in future people may have speculations about Lord Dattatreya's incarnations. Hence, I have asked them prior to anybody else. Otherwise, those questions would remain as it is without any answers. Gurudeva, I am fortuitous as I am listening to the nectarine attributes of Lord Dattatreya through your holy lotus-like countenance. You have recounted about Kartaviryarjuna extensively. I wish to know in depth about Bhargavarama, who defeated and killed Kartaviryarjuna. So friends, Deepaka is feeling very lucky that he is listening to the glories of Lord Dattatreya. Aren't we lucky too, friends, that we are listening to the glories of Lord Dattatreya? Story of Bhargavarama. The Pandavas lost all of their wealth and eventually their kingdom in the game of gambling. Hence, they were condemned to 12 years of exile into the forests and the 13th year to be spent incognito. They visited places of pilgrimage, bathed in the holy rivers, and paid respects to the dwellers of ashrams that were located in various forests. After traveling for few days, they reached the ashram of Bhargavarama at Mahendra Mountains. They bathed in the holy forts and carried out the religious rituals. With the help of Romasha Maharshi, Pandavas visited ashrams of sages such as Bhrigu, Angirasa, Vasishta, Kashyapa, and Akritavrana, and received their blessings. Dharmaraja was rapturous by the darshan of the sages. He said, in fact, we are fortunate enough to descry the ashram of Bhargavarama, but unfortunately, we are not blessed with his darshan. Akritavrana acknowledged thus Dharmaraja, Bhargavarama is cognizant of your arrival. He adores you, and hence he shall certainly provide his darshan to you. Often he visits ashram on Ashtami and Chaturdasi. As today is Trayodasi, you sojourn in the ashram for today, and tomorrow you may have the darshan of Bhargavarama. Hence, Pandavas sojourned in the ashram gleefully. Bhargavarama is Parashurama who killed Kartavirya. Dharmaraja asked Akritavrana, you are an attendant of Bhargavarama, hence you must have witnessed his skill and prowess in war. Why did Bhargavarama expunge the Kshatriya clan for 21 times? What could be the reason behind his premeditated act? Please expatiate the same, as you are the only one who has witnessed his deeds thoroughly. Dharma Sambhavana. Bhargavarama was born in the dynasty of Bhrigu to the sage Jamadagni, and hence is called as Jamadagni. His weapon is an axe with which he obliterated unethical kings and demons. Therefore, he is named as Parashurama. In fact, I am glad to explicate his memoir. Kartavirya was born in Hayaya dynasty, and later he was assassinated by Bhargavarama. He was blessed with 1,000 hands, a golden aeroplane, and a golden chariot by Lord Dattatreya. He travelled through the entire earth on his chariot, trounced the kings in the battle, and conquered the whole world, including the 7 islands. Out of pride and ego, he bedeviled gods, demigods, sages, and the 5 elements. Even Indra was tormented by him. Hence, the sages, gods, and Indra complained about Kartavirya to Lord Vishnu and adjured him to destroy Karta. Vishnu consoled them, saying that he would contemplate over the matter. Later, he began his journey towards Badarikavanam. A king by name Gadhi was ruling Kanyakubja. He was renowned for his sturdiness and audacity. Gadhi and his wife intended to stay at woods, so he consigned his kingdom to the minister and travelled to the nearby woods. In the course of time, they were blessed with a pretty girl, and they named her Satyavati. She was as beautiful as the celestial nymphs. Ruchika of Bhargava dynasty was enticed by her irresistible pulchritude and wished to marry her. He visited the king Gadi and asked for Satyavati's hand in marriage. Gadi informed, according to the religious customs of our caste, we would expect 1,000 white color horses with a single black color ear as a token of Kanya Shulkam. In ancient India, bridegroom had to offer gifts and money to the bride during the time of marriage, and that is called as Kanya Shulkam. If you are prepared to offer them, you can marry my daughter without any hesitation. Ruchika attained 1,000 horses with the blessings of Varuna. The horses raced from the river near the kingdom of Kanyakubja. Hence, the river is named as Ashvatirth. Ruchika presented the horses to Gadhi and married Satyavati. They lived happily in Kanyakubja and enjoyed their married life. One day, Ruchika's father Phrigu visited Kanyakubja. He was mirthful by seeing the mutuality of love between Ruchika and Satyavati. They treated Phrigu with utmost reverence, and hence Phrigu proffered boons to Satyavati. In turn, Satyavati requested that she and her mother should be blessed with a male offspring. Phrigu bestowed blessings on her and said, "Hug a fig tree with devotion and consume the oblation once your menstrual cycle is completed. Your mother should hug a peepal tree and consume the oblation given by me." He gave 2 types of oblations to Satyavati, one for her and the other for her mother. But they mismatched the trees to be hugged and the oblations to be consumed. Phrigu once again visited Kanyakubja as he was aware of the folly made by his daughter-in-law. He consoled her, saying, "Your son would follow the customs of a Kshatriya, though he will be born as a Brahman, and your mother's son would follow the customs of a Brahman, though he is a Kshatriya." But Satyavati was not contented with the words of Phrigu. She opined that her son has to follow the customs of a Brahmin and requested him to adjourn the Kshatriya customs so that her grandson would follow them. In the course of time, Satyavati gave birth to a son, named him Jamadagni. He was well versed in Vedas and possessed the knowledge of all the Shastras, and he was radiant like tropical sun. He married Mother Renuka Devi, daughter of King Prasanajit, and they were blessed with 5 sons named Vasumant, Sushena, Vasu, Vishwavasu, and Bhargavarama. Once Mother Renuka Devi had been to a river to take bath. She noticed that the ruler of Murtikavataka was swimming and playing gleefully in the river along with his wives. She stood for few moments observing them and wished to swim and play like them. But instantly she controlled her mind, took bath quickly and reached the ashram hastily. As soon as she stepped into the ashram, Jamadagni perceived that her countenance was lacking divine luster. He was nettled and antagonized. His 4 sons, who were perambulating the forests, returned to the ashram at the same time. Jamadagni dictated them to slay Mother Renuka Devi, but they defied his words as their hearts were filled with love towards their mother. Jamadagni was outraged at the behavior of his sons and cursed them that they would be born as animals and birds and ramble over the forests forever. Just then, Parashurama returned from the forest. Jamadagni commanded even Parashurama to slay his mother. He acceded to his father's instructions and axed his mother's head without giving a single thought. Jamadagni's anger was quelled, and he asserted that he would proffer any number of boons to his son. Parashurama replied, Father, bless my mother to resuscitate, become pristine, and forget about her death. Liberate my brothers from the clutches of your curse. Even I should not be entangled by the sin of obliterating my mother. Bless me with long life and prowess in war. Jamadagni said, Tadastu. Mother Renuka Devi opened her eyes as though she woke up from a deep slumber. Her sons were liberated from the curse, and Parashurama was freed from the sin of destroying his mother. Later, Kartaviryarjuna visited the ashram of Jamadagni and drove Kamadhenu and its calf to his kingdom. The outraged Parashuram battled with Kartaviryarjuna and axed his 1,000 hands. Consequently, his sons retaliated the assassination of their father by slaying Jamadagni. The demise of Jamadagni provoked the ire of Parashuram. Hence, he pledged that he would rummage about 21 times for the unethical Kshatriya clan and assassinate them. Lord Parashurama, after having exhausted all of the Kshatriya clans for 21 times, dug up 9 ponds with his axe and filled them with the blood of his foes and performed the religious rituals for his father. Hence the place is called Shamanta Panchaka. Shamanta means blood mixed up with water. Later, he built a golden stage of 20 yards length and 18 yards breadth in order to conduct yagna. He donated the precious stage to Kashyapa after the completion of yagna. Correspondingly, Kashyapa divided the stage into equal parts and donated them to the Brahmins. Hence, they came to be known as Khandavyanas. Parashurama became the supreme ruler of the entire world after demolishing the Kshatriya clan. But he donated all of the earth to the Brahmins and bathed in Saraswati river to dispose of his sins. Later on, he began to meditate in this Mahendra mountain. Thus, Akrutavarna concluded his narration. It was wee hours of Chaturdasi, and Bhargavarama visited the ashram. The Pandavas paid obeisance to him, cleansed his feet with holy water, and worshipped him with flowers and leaves. In turn, Bhargavarama bestowed blessings to them and adjured to sojourn at the ashram for another day. Deepaka Sriman Narayana blessed Kartaviryarjuna in the form of Lord Dattatreya and liquidated him in the form of Bhargavarama according to his desire. This is the glory of Vishnu Charitra. So the one who has created has destroyed, friends. That is what is happening, right? Every day in our lives also, like the creator, the sustainer and the annihilator, all the three are same, right? Gurudeva, I heard that Lord Dattatreya discoursed about tranquility and mortification of flesh to some of the deities. I kindly request you to descant on the same. Deepaka, in the form of wisdom, the self-manifested Parameshwara, was born as Dattatreya to sage Atri and Mother Anasuya. He is an embodiment of wisdom and the guru of all the macrocosms.